about question during interview, which you might get when you will be on the interview. So the question is, give me an example of a time when you did not agree with your supervisor, and what was it, and what did you do? So first of all, how do you think, what kind of question is it? Is it a personal question? Is it a provocative question? Or maybe it's a question about your background, or maybe it's a spontaneous question. So it's a provocative question because the employer wants to know how can you manage your behavior when you're contacting with other people. But before we started, let's just look at this things. So sometimes during the interview, we don't understand the question because, of course, English is not our first language. And there is a statement asking about clarification is okay. So think about if you agree or disagree. So if you, for example, hear the question, what are you doing? Or how are you doing? They are totally different questions because what are you doing means what are you busy with right now? Yeah. And how are you doing means how are you? So it's very important to ask, I'm sorry, can you repeat? I'm sorry, I didn't understand you. Can you say one more time? So it is very important for you to understand what the employer wants to know about you. Don't just answer straight away, just to clarify. I'm sorry, can you repeat? I'm sorry, can you explain? It's okay. Yeah, so you should agree. And talking about our question, dealing with a supervisor. So give me an example of a time when you did not agree with your supervisor, and what was it and what did you do? So it's a kind of a provocative question, and what we need to do. So first of all, keep the subject light and do not get into too many details. Means that you need to be very clear and just explain the situation in a very simple way without giving your opinions about it, without judging your supervisor, and without being negative, because being negative is the last thing you want to do during the interview. So you don't have to insist much on disagreement. So you need to explain only the situation and only the solution, but without giving your opinion about the situation. And of course, the last thing is that you need to end up in a positive manner. So here I have an example of a situation. So I'm suggesting to make a screenshot because it's a very, very long one. So if you need it for future, just make a screenshot. And yeah, and that's how we answer this question. I think there is not much to speak about it. There are plenty of questions like this, but they have the same nature. They're all like provocative. They want to know if you're positive or negative person, and if you can deal with situation, if you can deal with conflict. And yeah, this is your home task, by the way. Read it at home and make sure not to copy, not to read it and learn by heart, but to make up your own idea and come up with your examples. So I will finish here. I think it's enough information for the first lesson. Well, if you have questions, please feel free to ask. And thank you for your time.